Welcome to the Winning YouTube Vlog. I'm your host, James McCorn, and this video is brought to you not by XSplit Broadcaster, which lost my previous recording and is forcing me to do this all over again. Today we have a very interesting vlog because I'm going to be talking about the criteria of starting a YouTube channel. I would have a nice little quote from the Stooges and a bunch of other stuff, but that was lost. So I guess I'm just going to have to hyper-focus today. And, well, you're watching these YouTube vlogs because you like focus. So enough with the rambling, and let's dig right into it. So you're starting a new YouTube channel, and you're having trouble figuring out what to do. That's okay. James McCord's got you covered. The first step, find your niche. What's a niche? A niche is a particular subset of an overall market. Like, for instance, cooking, for example. A niche of cooking would be barbecue cooking, and being hyper-focused on stuff you barbecue, as opposed to covering all of cooking. Can you cover all of cooking on YouTube? Yes. Will you get noticed? No. People love niches on YouTube. One of my favorite niches is repossessions. I watch a channel called Repo Nut, where the guy goes out and he repossesses cars. That's a very highly specific niche, but it's getting a lot of views, and I'm one of those viewers. Sort of like stuff you binge on like popcorn. That being said, how do I find my niche is a burdening new YouTube content creator question, and the answer is actually quite easy and surprising. First of all, hobbies. What do you enjoy doing? And second, what do you love? And fuse those two together. Or keep them separate and just focus on one. If you like working on cars and that's your hobby, have a YouTube channel on cars. Simple enough, right? I do want to make note, though, and I'm going to be probably offending everyone who's watching this video because I'm not optimizing this, so I have a very specific audience, but hey, why not? If you're going to do video game content, you should just stop. Just stop. And if you're still watching and listening, let me explain. Everyone does video game content. It's very hard to stand out. And if you do, you could have your income taken away in a split second. I'll use an example. I'll use two people's examples. Nintendo. People are producing tons of Let's Plays on Nintendo and creating transformative work, and Nintendo said those images that are showing besides your head belong to me. I'm taking 100% of your ad revenue. Those people who are making a living off of YouTube videos, Let's Plays, had their entire income disappear in a microsecond. And anytime people clicked on those videos, bam, all the money went straight to Nintendo. Okay, so that's pretty scary. The second one is the dreaded sub-license income takeaway. And what I mean by that is I know a couple of Let's Players who are doing Civilization 5, one of my favorite games, and they were almost to the point where they were able to quit their day jobs and just do YouTube full-time. Very exciting. And then, bam, the music that was included in the video game, the license got transferred, someone sub-licensed it, put it on YouTube's Content ID, and suddenly everyone who's ever made a Civilization 5 video with the music in Civilization 5 had all their income rediverted to the rights holder. Very lucrative for the troll, terrible for people who have made those Let's Plays. Lost all their income in a second. So, avoid the low-hanging fruit of video games. There's a reason why it's low-hanging. And mind you, you could easily get pigeonholed. So that's all I'm going to say at this point on video games. Let's go ahead and focus on the continuation of my original point, and that once you find your niche, your hobby, your category that you fit into, you need to find the competition on your niche. And subscribing to everyone who has any video possibly labeled of something that you're interested in doesn't mean they're your competition. In order for you to find your competition on YouTube, you need to go to a website that I found very, very helpful that has its tentacles around YouTube in terms of being buddy-buddy, and that is socialblade.com. It helps you give a good idea of where the top YouTubers are in their respective YouTube categories, how much they make, and how long they've been around. And then from there, you might want to subscribe to them and analyze what they do. How do they do it? What are they doing? Are they cooking eggs on an engine as their unique section in autos? I mean, you need to take a good hard look at your competition. And most people, when they look at their competition, they get discouraged. Yes, it can be discouraging looking at your competition. It could also be very encouraging. Now you're saying, well, wait a minute. If these people are at the top of their game, they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, how am I ever going to compete with that? They have presence. Yes, they do have presence. Yes, they've been around longer than you, but you could still beat them. And by analyzing them, you could find their weaknesses. Which brings me to my next point. What are their weaknesses? For example, is the channel targeted towards first world countries? Now, that's a huge weakness. If any channel is not targeted towards first world countries and they're rated number 1, you can beat them. You could beat them hard at their own game. Why? Simple. If the channel's in Spanish and you're doing it in English and you're producing content and there's enough ad revenue to support you, typically that's done by views. We'll get into that in just a moment. Yes, I said views. Then you are in a position to dominate that genre, even though they've been around longer and are more well established. So are they targeting first world countries? Is the channel in English? The second point is, is their target audience too small? If they're number 1 rated in, I don't know, flipping pancakes, and the audience is only, 100 people per day, that's really not going to be that much, because you take 100 people per day times 30, you get 3,000 views. And if their ads, remember, ads are based off of 1,000 views. So in other words, if your ad rate, let's say it's at 56 cents, or even, okay, let's do 50 cents, even number. YouTube takes 50% of that, means you're left with 25 cents per 1,000 views. So for every 1,000 views, you get 25 cents. So if they're only getting 3,000 views a month, mind you, that works out to about 75 cents. Do you want to be working for 75 cents a month? Most people don't. No. So you need to make sure that the audience is big enough. And, what do you know? Social Blade tells you what their audience size is. Isn't that great? I'm going to have to take a drink here. I've been talking for like 2 hours now, and these recordings keep failing. The things I do. So, the next one is, are they getting enough legitimate views? And the simple, easiest, fastest, quickest way to determine that is a channel longer than a year? And is their oldest video longer than a year? Typically, YouTube can find out if you've bought in views and will smash you hard. They'll ban you, they'll ban the bots, they do a lot of things. Because their money and their life depends on legitimate views. So if a YouTube channel's been rated number 1, and they've been around for a couple of years plus, and they're getting mega views, then, yeah, they're probably legitimate views. Now, mind you, the ad revenue is based off of people who fully, completely watch an ad. Now, in the age of ad block and ad block plus and a bunch of other stuff, that's going to be quite small. Thank goodness Google removed AdBlock Plus from Android. I know. But by doing so, it's allowed mobile the advantage, because most people watch YouTube now on mobile anyways, of being able to show ads that people can't really block. They could skip them. Now, mind you, if someone skips an ad, the content creator doesn't get paid. So, are there enough views? For instance, one channel I was looking at was getting 700,000 views a day. Now, assuming that, 1/10 of that are paid ads that people watch all the way through without skipping, that could work out to a pretty penny per day. Not bad. Maybe a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand, depending on what the channel is and what the ads are being showed and if it's first world country. So there's a lot of variables, but the point being is it does work out to possibly some mucho dinero passive income. So I've talked about, are they getting enough legitimate views? Next, I'm going to be talking about the part everyone loves. Are there holes in your competition's armor? And once you know what to look for, you're going to turn from, oh my gosh, I can't compete with these people, to, I could beat them. Oh, heck yeah, I could beat them. And that's simply because you know what to look for, the holes in their armor. I don't know how many people put out a video and it's become viral and they didn't know why or how to re-engineer that. Most of the time you can't re-engineer that. However, you can try and stack the deck towards getting your film shown over your competitors. And that's most of the time because your competitors don't know how to optimize. And optimization is really easy on YouTube if you know how to do it. So what do I mean by optimize? Well, you could look at your competitors and they might have a film titled, Wild Pickles in the Field. And you look at it and it's really all about James Bond action scenes. Where you're going to say, well, that title was misleading. You're going to back out. Yeah, you need to have the titles match the content that's in there. So you might want to relabel that James Bond video to James Bond. Next, you want to make sure that that title is descriptive. What is James Bond doing? Is James Bond jumping in that video? Is he diving? Is he, getting thrown from an explosion? And include that in your title too. Most competitors just say, hey, look, awesome video as a title. Great, that tells you nothing. Even better when you search for awesome videos, that could be anything. Anyone's arbitrary definition of awesome. So an example of a good video title that your competitors are probably not doing for their James Bond films, in this example, would be James Bond gets thrown from an explosion, jumps to a building, and kills the villain. I'd watch that. I want to see James Bond thrown from an explosion, jump across buildings, and kill a villain. And if that's what the video is about, then, oh yeah, heck yeah, I'll watch it. That's why titles are important, and most people put out videos that have nothing to do with the title of the video. So, are their titles lacking in description? Can you go overboard on that? Yes, but typically most people are good at putting decent titles when they know what a decent title looks like. And most of your competitors won't. The next area is, do they have descriptions that match the title? Now, you may be saying, hey, wait a minute, that's repetitive. Why the heck would I want to be repetitive? That's pointless. It's already in the title. Why would I put it again? The description is supposed to be describing what's in the content of the video, right? Well, no. Wrong. And right. If you recall what I said about good titles, is that good titles describe what's going on in the video. Well, a description should repeat the title and have more content. Now, you may be saying, huh? Let's talk about signals, and in particular, social psychology signaling. I'm a guy, so I'm going to be talking about dating. And you might say, well, dating, how is this related? Just hang with me. When you go to a bar and you're sitting down at the bar and you're talking with the bartender, a cute girl sits down next to you and says hi and winks at you, you're like this. You have my attention. If she then proceeds to go look elsewhere, talk to the bartender, and, get her drinks and leave, that means nothing. Now, mind you, I'm going to be very passive in this situation because I'm using that to explain what's going on. Let's use another example. Let's say she goes to the bar. She sits down. She looks at you. She winks. You take a drink from your glass. You keep looking. She looks back over you again, and she winks again. Suddenly, instead of oh, how you doing? Hi, it's hey, how you doing? Let's be a little bit more serious. Let's talk. Let's engage. Let's maybe flirt. And you might be saying to yourself, first time with the wink, oh, okay, yeah, she's just, being friendly. Next time is maybe she's serious. It's a second wink. That's interesting. She is signaling intention that she is into you. Because it happened twice. First time could have been a fluke action. She could have been winking at the guy next to you. Second time, you have a generally better idea that she's more interested in you. And that's the way it works with titles and description. The title has to reinforce the description has to reinforce the title. They both have to say the same thing. Lucky with the description is now you could include more stuff. And by all means do. Describe what's going on. Is little Jimmy picking up Jack from school? And is Jack a 2-year-old child? Is Jimmy 3 years old? Is Jimmy acting like an adult? Add those in. Make them flow. Don't make them look like you're spamming a bazillion keywords. Which brings me to my next point. Keywords. Are your keywords tied into your description, which is tied into your title? And the way I would describe that in my analogy of the woman who goes into the bar and winks at you is if she winks 3 times, for the love of God, go up and say hello. Obviously, I don't care how dense you are, you will pick up on 3 winks to you. That is a very obvious clue that there wants to be some sort of reaction or interaction. Google's no different. You wink 3 times at Google and say, hey, I have what you're looking for. I have what you're looking for. I have what you're looking for. YouTube's going to say, well, by George, you probably have what you're looking for. I'm going to send people right over. So you want to make sure all of them tie in together. The next one is you don't want spammy keywords. Is your competition spamming keywords that are not referenced in their title or their description? If they are, that's a hole in their armor you could take advantage of. And for the most part, that's true. There is one addendum I will add there, and that's the last hole in people's armor. And if you've watched this far in to my vlog, you will probably care about this, and that is hidden keywords. Does your competition have hidden keywords? If they do, great. Leverage them. If they don't, great. Make your own. And you'll be saying, well, what are hidden keywords? Well, that's one of the secret sauces I'm not going to reveal. But if you know the term, you have a key. Now go out and find the door. Hop on YouTube. Go on Google, look around, find out what a hidden keyword is. It's very important. And I'll explain why. Because most people that talk about hidden keywords don't actually explain why it's important. They just kind of do the wink, wink, nudge, nudge stuff. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm not going to tell you what a hidden keyword is, but I'm going to tell you what it's for. A hidden keyword helps YouTube know what to recommend to people to watch next. Also, that little sidebar, if you're on a computer, that sidebar that's over there, it has recommended videos. And how do you get your videos in the recommended videos compared to your competitors? Simple. Hidden keywords. You have those, your videos all stand out against your competitors. Most of your competitors won't have hidden keywords. They don't even know why they're number 1. If you could find out why they're number one and beat them at their own game, then you have your foot in the door and you can dominate YouTube. So, I'm going to end the recording here with a nice little cliffhanger. And that will be where I talk about Twitch. So, with that cliffhanger about talking about Twitch and perhaps looking into Twitch and analyzing Twitch, I'm going to let you be. Hopefully this recording, crossing my fingers, holds up, and I'll have it on YouTube for people to watch, listen, enjoy. And with that, bye.